I think this is more just gonna be like me talking about my thoughts of Ubik since, I really didn't vlog very much. Welcome friends! I am starting another reading vlog. So it is the last week in December, wrapping up 2024. I picked up something on the shorter side because I wanted to be able to maybe finish it before the end of the year. We'll see about that. Picked up Ubik by Philip K. Dick. This is a sci-fi and it is short, just over 200 pages. Yeah, like 227. It shouldn't take me that long to get through this. It is about Glenn Ronciter runs a lucrative business, deploying his teams of anti-psychics to corporate clients who want privacy and security from psychic spies. But when he and his top team are ambushed by a rival, he is gravely injured and placed in half-life, a dreamlike state of suspended animation. Soon, though, the surviving members of the team begin experiencing some strange phenomena, such as Ronciter's face appearing on coins and the world seeming to move backward in time. As consumables deteriorate and technology gets ever more primitive, the group needs to find out what is causing the shifts and what a mysterious product called Ubik has to do with it all. This has gotten a lot of hype, a lot of love, and I've heard it is a very good read. Though I also have heard that Philip K. Dick is one of those authors that doesn't always wrap up his stories perfectly with a little bow, and that some ends are left untied. And so that could be a problem for me. I don't know. I did start it last night. I got like 10 pages in, so not very far. The interesting thing, even within those 10 pages, is technology that he talks about is very interesting. People are put into, like it mentions on the back of the book, these half-life states. And I don't know if it's because they were dying or they had died and they grab onto the remaining parts of their humanity, their personality, and they download them or save them somehow. I haven't, like I said, I'm only 10 pages in, so I haven't gotten the full meat behind that story, behind that tech, but it sounds very interesting. So this guy, he owns the company and something has happened and he's decided to go see his wife, who, when she was put in this half-life state, was only 20 years old, but she must have some knowledge of something because he's going to get her advice on how to handle the situation and try to get some information out of her. The director at this place mentions that she is coming to the end of her half-life ability. Like soon he won't be able to access her anymore. That is pretty interesting. If you know me, you know I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I love sci-fi. I think that it's so interesting what these writers can come up with as far as like technological advances and what the human mind is capable of. It doesn't always have to be in space either, which I think is fun. I'm hoping that I really love this one. This will be my first Philip K. Dick book, and I'm really excited to get into it. I will take you with me as I read. This may be a short vlog, short book, who knows? We will see. And it's going to take us into the New Year's and 2025, and hopefully some even more exciting books to come. So let's go. See you in a bit. Well, this has not been much of a vlog. I think this is more just going to be like me talking about my thoughts of Ubik since, I really didn't vlog very much. Life has been shit lately, to say the least. I will say probably the highlight of my last week or so has been this book, because this was stellar. I gave this 4.5 stars easily. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is it does start out a little bit dry, a little bit stiff. And I questioned at the very beginning whether or not I was going to like this. But I held the faith and I kept with it. And boy, oh boy, did this pay off. The front on the cover, it says a masterpiece, beautiful and hallucinatory. And I must agree that that is exactly what this feels like. It was such a wild and unexpected ride that there's no possible way that you can see coming what happens. It's just too out there, far-fetched. And it feels like Philip K. Dick is using this book as a way for him to kind of navigate his own questions about morality and life after death, his faith. And while, like I said, it's slow to start, it really does excel in the concept aspect and the plot and how he unfolds it in such a way that it's really mind-bending. It really, truly is. And you are questioning the entire time, what in the hell is going on? But it's so much fun. It's almost as if this book starts out in black and white. Like you're watching a black and white film and it seems very mundane and very kind of boring and just dull. And then it slowly reverts into this Technicolor dreamscape full of vibrant life description. It's like this whole new understanding of what Philip K. Dick is trying to communicate to you as the reader and how much it accomplishes in such a small amount because it's a really short book. I mean, really is. I've heard people say that his books are often very open-ended and there's not a finality to them. He doesn't wrap them up with a bow and they are kind of open-ended, I guess. And I do think there is some of that here, but I do feel like the ending was very satisfying. Like you get a grasp on what happened and the meaning behind it, and I don't feel like he really left anything unanswered. It was very satisfying to me. It felt very, like I said, very philosophical, this unraveling of life and death and what that means, almost a new way of processing the emotional aspects of life and death and how that is for the family members and relatives of those that pass on from this earth. Yeah, I don't know. I read this in a time in my life where that maybe had a little bit more meaning for me personally. And so that could have added to that aspect, I think, in some ways, because it made me really open my mind to some new perspectives on that. It was such a good read. I can't get over how entertaining and just wonderful it was. It was wonderful. And it really is probing me to want to read more from Philip K. Dick. I know that there are a few of his that are really popular and talked about, like the Man in the High Castle. What was the other one that I added to my list? I want to tell you. So hold on, let me get them. Oh, come on. Okay, yeah, so I added a few more to my list, particularly Valis. It's a trilogy, and The Man in the High Castle, Time Out of Joint, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Those are the 4 that I added, and there are a plethora of them. There's plenty, and they all seem like they're pretty short, within the 200 to 300 page range. Valis is the one I think that stood out the most when I first read the synopsis. It says, when a beam of pink light begins giving a schizophrenic man named Horse Lover Fat, who just might also be known as Philip K. Dick, visions of an alternate Earth where the Roman Empire still reigns. He must decide whether he is crazy or whether a godlike entity is showing him the true nature of the world. I think that sounds really, really fantastic. I love the way he likes to play with alternate realities because I believe that is what The Man in the High Castle also does, more along the lines of World War II and what if the Germans had won the war, I believe. I believe that's what that covers. And then Time Out of Joint is Raggle Gum has a unique job. Every day he wins a newspaper contest, and when he isn't consulting his charts and tables, he enjoys his life in a small town in 1959. At least that's what he thinks. But then strange things start happening. He finds a phone book where all the numbers have been disconnected and a magazine article about a famous starlet he's never heard of named Marilyn Monroe. Plus, everyday objects are beginning to disappear and are replaced by strips of paper with words written on them like bowl of flowers and soft drink stand. When Ragel skips town to try and find the cause of these bizarre occurrences, his discovery could make him question everything he has ever known. See, do you see the trend here? That is what I feel like Philip K. Dick really focuses on a lot in his stories, in his books, is the idea of reality and what reality means in different circumstances to different people, how things may not always be what they seem, and for people to really look outside or think outside the box. He has just this really great, unexpected way of writing and the ideas that he comes up with. I am impressed, needless to say, and I'm almost kind of angry at myself for not reading him sooner because wow. Stellar book. Highly recommend, and I would love to know if you've read this, what you thought. Did you love it as much as I did? And if not, what about it didn't work for you? I'm really interested to know, and I would also really love to hear your recommendations on any of his other books that I have not mentioned. So drop me a comment down below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!